Hi guys. How are you guys doing today? Oh my God, do I ever need this sage? I think I've been saying this for the last few days. But I think today is the day that it's like, oh guys, I want you guys to smell some of that sage and to put some of that sage onto this YouTube street here that really need clearing. Could we clear up America? Okay, this is not about America, but yeah, let's clean up this YouTube streets, right? Oh, yeah, it's so good to just um, yeah, I don't even know. Like, I do know how good this is, but when I come on and I'm like, oh, I don't know, I like this sage, and it tells me, yeah, you do know, right? So I'm gonna just leave it, let it just, so you can see it and and envision what that smell like. Or if you want to have some of that for yourself, it would be very lovely for you to go. You can buy them, right? I have harvest most of my own sage, and and I do it in a very in the proper way, because I've been taught to do it in the proper way. When you go to harvest anything, any plant, any flowers, especially, if it's wildflower or plant or rose or whatever you go out there to harvest, is always good to give something in exchange. And because in the indigenous culture, tobacco is one of the most use medicine, and it is the most potent medicine that use in as part of their ritual and ceremony. Making an offering of tobacco is always a good thing. So all of that, I just don't go and pick the sage. I only pick what it is I need. I don't have to pick more than that. So I offer you that today. When you go out into the world, only take what you need. You don't need to take more than what you need. Take what you need and leave the rest for someone else. And obviously, that's not the world we are living in, because people do not just take what they need. They take what they want, and then they take some more of what they want, and then they take some more of what they want. And which is going to get me to this part of my story. The other day I had this incident that happened to me, and yeah, don't forget to subscribe and like my channel. I feel like it's a bit dark, and I don't know if I should put on some light, but I'm just going to leave it alone because I'm already here. Um, yeah, so don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, because as I say, you subscribing to my channel is going to help me enormously in the future, or in the present as well, because this channel is actually like my retirement plan channel. This is the fun thing I'm going to do when I fully retire, and yes, it's going to be a fun thing. And I think today is like my 30, I think today must be my 40 day. What are we in? Is today the 10th of I'm just gonna check the date over here. Um yeah, just give me a moment. Let me check that. What is the date? Yeah, today is the 10th of February. So 30 and 10 is 40. Oh my God, I have breakthrough. I am in my 41 day doing videos today. 41 day doing videos. Yay for me. So that is a good, yeah, let's celebrate. I am bragging. I did video every day for 41 days. And I got to tell you, if there was one day that I didn't want to do video, it would be today. That I was having a bit of a whole emotional breakdown all day. I'm not sick. I am quite well. Just my emotion was kind of so heightened yesterday from all, whatever. But anyways, so today in the whole aspect of this whole idea of just taking what you need and not going and taking all the things that you want. And so A few days ago, I was talking about standing in line to get my email, my attachment that I had in my email print out. I don't have a printer, so I normally go to a local business center, a local business center to get my stuff print out. And I mean, it's like an office supply store. So I go there to get my stuff print out. And while I was standing right next to the computer that I was about to use, because they only have two computers and someone else was using one, and I was about to use the other one, I was already there. And you do have to, because it's a small job, you just email your email, you email it to their Outlook email. I have Gmail, they have Outlook. So you send an email to their Outlook and then you print it out from there. It's very easy peasy, very lovely, doesn't take long. So while I was waiting, while I was sending my video, excuse me, to their computer, this woman just came up and yeah, she white woman, and yeah, of course I'm a black person, so obviously I'm a little bit more annoyed than maybe I should be annoyed. No, I am annoyed because you know that's privilege to me. She walked right up and said, "Are you using this computer?" I said, "Yes, I am." And she said, "Well, you're not using it. You're standing there." I'm like, "I'm not standing here. I'm sending my email to the computer." So while I continue to do that, it takes her two more seconds for us to say, "Well, it seems like that's taking some time for you, so I'm going to use it." So I'm like, "Ma'am, I am here before you." And she's like, "Yeah, but you're just standing there." I'm like, "No, I'm not standing here. I'm putting my stuff in there." Anyways, I just lift up my hands and I said, "You go ahead, right? No problem. You go ahead." I'm like, "Okay, alrighty then. If that's what you want, you seem to be in a hurry and your stuff is more important than mine, so go ahead." So anyway, part of the story is there was an employee in there. There was a few of them, but there was one definitely that was kind of addressing, tending to me and this woman. And the employee has turned around and said, "Oh, I think there is some miscommunication." And I was like, "Nope." And then she said, "Oh, I think you're confused." And I'm like, "Nope, nobody's confused. There's no miscommunication. I was here first." And anyways, long story short, today I went back into the same office supply store so that I can, you know, get some things print out. As it so happened, it wasn't working for me today because my attachment, when it opened, it's sending me somewhere else, wanting me to go and get my email, and my email, I can't remember my password. Anyway, so today there was nobody there. But however, the employee was there and I was walking. No, she come up to me and say hello. And I kind of give her the cold shoulder because obviously I'm still annoyed about the last time I was there and she did nothing about this other person walking right up to me and this other person taking my spot while I was ahead of her. So when she said hello to me, I didn't really answer. I was just like, "Oh, whatever, right?" But then I take 2 minutes and I said, "You know what? I need to be polite." So I go up to the checkout counter where the same, employee is standing, and I said, "Excuse me, you know what? I mean to tell you this. When as an employee, when someone is already as an employee, when someone is already in line and someone else walk right up and take their spot, your responsibility is to let them know, I'm sorry, this person was here ahead of you." And she's like, "Yeah, but I said, "No, the fact of the matter is I was there first, and this woman come and you very much bulldoze her way into, getting her stuff done before me." "Well, you say white woman, does that mean that you're bringing racists into it?" I'm like, "Ma'am, I think you're missing the point. I am a black woman, and if I am to call myself and refer to myself as a black woman, as the way you refer to me, I can say the white woman. right? And she's like, no, it was a woman. I said, no, it was a white woman. And you know, oh my God, as I'm saying that, it just remind me of this clip I saw on Instagram where this little white boy, oh my God, it was so funny. It just comes straight into my head. But this little white boy was looking out the window and he said, yeah, ma'am, I see a fucking goat. And the mother said, no, no, it's not a fucking goat. And he's like, yes, yes, it is a fucking goat. The fact is. Anyways, I don't know why that came into my head, but anyways. So I said, yeah, I'm a black woman, and if you're speaking to your employer, your former people here, you're going to tell them the black woman who was in here, because that's how you're going to describe me. So the white woman who was here with me, she's, no offense, guys. And if you take it offensive, that's your problem. The truth is, I'm a black woman, and if you white, then you're a white woman, right? We are clear, right? Yeah. Okay. Anyways, so I said, the important thing to do is to do not say that we are confused. Do not say that miscommunication. None of that was really what is important. What was important is the fact is I was there first and she came and, took my spot because her stuff was more important than mine. So then the woman said to me, oh, I have like biracial family in my family. I'm like, what does that have to do with the fact? What does that have to do with what we are speaking about now? Well, and my uncle, I'm like, lady, what the hell? What does that have to do with the fact of you saying to the person, I said, the next time this happened, because it might happen again, as an employee in the store, your responsibility is to say to the person who took over my spot or any, that, excuse me, this lady was here first before you, so could you wait your turn? You know, like that's it. I don't have to stand there and argue with her. You were right there. Tell her, wait her turn. Well, I'm like, there is nothing to know or not know. The facts, the facts. You hear me saying the facts? Facts. That's the what happened is this. This is what happened. I am standing here right next to the computer and I am getting my email from my phone to post to their email so that I can put it in to get it printed. That's the facts. And a white woman decide that it seemed like I'm standing there, so she walked right up to the computer, take a moment, look at me and say, are you using this computer? And I said, yes, I'm just sending my email. That is facts, right? And she said, but you're not using it. I'm like, yeah, I'm using it. I'm just sending my email. I'm here. I'm still here first. The fucking facts. You meet me here. I'm not just a flower pot in the store. I'm not just hanging out by the printer and the computer because oh I have time. That's not what I'm doing there. It says, send your email to, guess at so and so at, Outlook, right? Yeah, send your email to Outlook so that you can print it out there. That's what I'm doing. I have my email on my phone and I'm sending it there. And she was in such a hurry that even when she came on, when I said, okay, whatever, because it seemed like your stuff is more important than mine and you have more pressing stuff to do than I do. I have nothing to do. So why don't you take over? It still took her the same amount of time that it was taking me to send my stuff there. She's like, looking for her stuff. And, it still took a while, a few minutes. Anyways, so I was saying to the clerk, the employee, next time, just tell them that someone else is there and they have to wait their turn. That's it. And then she's just like, but my uncle and I am by, and no, no, nobody cares about that. The fact is, someone take my spot. I know I'm going on about it, and this is what is annoying for me. Not that I am going on about it, but how can we stick with the facts? Not the story, not the shit, just the facts of life, like the facts that we can relate to, that we can see, that it's understandable. It's like the facts of history. Like, look at it and be with that. You know, like Bad Bunny is an entertainer that entertained. Everything else behind it is what? The fact is, Bad Bunny, entertainer, he entertained in Spanish. That's it. There is no storyline around that. He wasn't trying to be different. He wasn't trying. Oh, he just was there doing his thing, enjoying himself, having us have a good time. Yeah. I was going out. I had a whole set of errand that I run this morning, and I walked from my house and I walked all the way into town. I walked from one bank to the next, from the bank to the store. From the store, I went to my workout session, and yes, I wanted to just lie on the ground in my workout session because I felt half dead. I felt like, oh my God, I was just so over it. I just wanted to lie down on the floor and stay on the floor there, you know. And and so I came in and I had a few questions, which I haven't even done yet. I need to put aside some time to do that. I had a few questions for the personal trainer, and yeah, she too cannot just give me fact. It's just a lot of stuff. And no, just tell me the thing that you need to tell me. Let's just, and I guess in a sense, if we just tell each other the thing we have to tell each other, then I guess we wouldn't have to fill up this space, right? Like I am having to fill up this space while I talk to you today. But that's when I'm here and I'm on this YouTube street, my job is to just, this is the place where you fill it up. This is the place where I talk about it. This is the place where I say, let's learn something from this video. Let's learn that when someone come to you and, for instance, they ask you for something, say for instance they ask you, borrow me $500. You can just say, no, I don't have that. Or you can say, yes, I do. Right? That is just, it's simple, it's clean, it's not around the bushes. It is really very much, concise and clean. There is nothing to dissect about it. But instead, a lot of the time, what happened is the person might ask you for money by text or by a phone call, and then you say to them, oh, I'm going to get back to you. And one, you probably never get back to them, so they don't know how to talk to you or how to come to you because they're not sure. They're ashamed for calling you and asking you for money. Not only they're ashamed, they call you and ask you for this particular thing because it's very hard for them and they really need that. They have never done it before. So let's put that in front, right? We're not talking about someone that, asks you the same thing 5 times. We're talking about that person that did that. So now they're ashamed. They don't know how to address you. They're feeling bad over what they have done. And it just stays in the air. It stays in the space. And you need to clean that space up. If not, the relationship would never be the same. And you cannot put the stuff underneath the rug and you cannot hide it. As a matter of fact, today I was listening to my favorite money podcast with Ramit. And he's the guy that wrote the book, I'll Teach You How to Be Rich. He has a Netflix series on it as well. And I usually listen to him on Spotify, because now he does money for couples. That's like his niche. He niched down to money for couples. So his biggest thing is that he talks to couples on his podcast every week. Once a week, there's a podcast which I wait for with bated breath. I mean, the podcast is, they're all similar because it's just different couples. Usually have similar kind of money problems, and today I was listening to him, which is interesting that I'm even having this topic because I had the same experience when I went out today. And he was saying to the couple, they're just talking around the subject. Nobody is being honest. They're just talking around the subject. So for years, the same subject is being talked about. And I see that sometimes in my own relationship. We think we're talking about X, but we're talking about X, Y, and Z. But nobody knows in the relationship that's what we're talking about, because we go around it like, we call it beating around the bush. I think you may have heard me say that already before if you have been on my channel and watching my videos. When you're beating around the bush, everybody, you're beating around the bush. You cannot come to a solid point. You cannot say no. You cannot say yes. That you talk about the phone, and there's never a solution. Why the fuck is that? Like, why is that? What are we afraid of when we sit to have a conversation? What are we afraid of that we cannot tell the person we're talking to the truth? Like the solid truth. Like, yeah, you might get pissed off, but, tell me the solid truth. Let me get pissed off. Let me have some healthy anger over something, or let me become aware, or know who you're speaking to. So if you know that you're speaking to someone who value the truth over some goddamn ring my role and some kind of a driving the talk around the bushes, it's such a waste of time. you know if I ask you, what is the price of this? Do not give me the story of you had to go to 20 store and one of the store was like 199, but then you went up the road and then that store was like $2. So then you decided you wanted it for 150. So you went to three other stores and you didn't get it. So you had to go back. No. I am lost inside of the story. Just tell me, this cost me 199. I get it. Don't tell me something like, well, I have to pay money. I know that I'm going to have to pay for that in particular, and never really bother to tell me how much that was. I tell you, the truth is your life, honest to God, like I'm not even kidding, would be so much more functional, so much more on point, vibrationally, energetically, functionally, you know, on point, if you stop beating around the bush and you stop allowing the people who come to tell you their Nancy story, you stop listening to that. What is the facts? That's it. That's it. And today, my responsibility was to share this with you guys so that you get it. You get that, you don't have to go with the story. And I'm going to actually leave this here today because it's a good day. And yeah, I'm going to leave it here today because I can go on and on about this topic and all the reasons why that, it's a lack of awareness and all these kind of a reason. But what I'm going to leave you with, try and, stick with the facts and stay inside of the responsibility, and not around it. And there are time and place to tell the story. Honestly, you have a nice night, nobody is doing anything, everybody is in, or maybe you have a YouTube channel. There is a time and place to tell the story. You have good stories, it's great to share them. But when you are communicating with someone, with people on a different level on a daily basis, when it's not time for the story, do not take them wrong the bushes. Just let them, like, be clear, be concise, be factual, and let us, kind of take that as the way to go forward, right? So, my mantra now: do less, be more. And if you made it all the way here, guys, subscribe to my channel. Subscribe to my channel. I know I left on my sweater today. In Australia they call it jumper. I went to a university for 1 minute, and so I'm wearing the um my my jumper or sweater or whatever you call it. Yeah, and so, anyways, yeah, subscribe, like my channel, and I am never ever editing, so I'm gonna come forward and press stop on my phone, and yeah, you have a good one.